How is it possible? It's possible because what God has done, right? God the Father sent his Son to come to earth and to take what was ours, namely our sin guilt and the penalty of our sin. And Jesus takes that sin upon himself. He dies on the cross. He receives the punishment of our sin, and he pays the full penalty of our guilt. He's dead on the cross. He's buried in the grave, and 3 days later he is raised up from the dead. And as he pays for our sins, now he secures for us all the benefits of life with him now and forever. He provides to those who place their faith and trust in him, who surrender their lives to him, grace, love, mercy, forgiveness, joy, righteousness, and goodness. And just listing those things, who wouldn't rightly rush up to the front and give their lives even now to Christ? Imagine the good things that God is providing for us in Jesus if we would give ourselves to him and give ourselves to him completely. These guys are trying to trap Jesus in this saying, but here is Christ speaking the truth. Yeah, if we are going to pay to lesser authorities taxes due to them, why wouldn't we give our lives to Christ who loves you, who cares for you, who gave himself for you? Who should do this? We all should. We should all give our lives to Christ. For some of you, it's the first time. Maybe today, it's the first time you've ever called to Christ for salvation, ever called Christ for deliverance. Want to know what that looks like? Perhaps it's admitting that you're a sinner, that you are wrong, and that you chose to do life your way, and you're sorry. And you're admitting it. God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry for doing life my way. Believing that Jesus is the Son of God, that he died on the cross for my sins, that he was buried, that he was raised from the dead. Confessing that Jesus is Lord. Believing that he truly is who he says he is. And that he is able to come into my life and to save me and to rescue me completely. If you've never done that, if you've never turned your heart over to Jesus, even today there's going to be an opportunity for you to respond. And to say, I'm ready to give my life to Christ. I'm ready to surrender all those things that you described, even more. I want Christ. I want Christ in my life. And if that's you today, in just a moment, you're going to have an opportunity to do just that. But understand that when we give our lives to Christ, it's not just a one-time surrender. It's not just, I'm coming to the front, I'm going to pray a singular prayer, and then I'm going to go on with my life. Listen, no, we all must surrender ourselves to Jesus. Not once, but always. It needs to be a daily occurrence. So if you've been in the faith for a year or 34 years, we must continue to surrender ourselves to the Lord on a daily basis. Think about all the things we often surrender our lives to and our attention to, things that are so much lesser. We scroll countless hours on our phone. We swing birds at objects to pop pigs over hours and hours. We look at doom messages and feed on rage and fear on a consistent and daily basis. We give ourselves over and over again to that and 1,000 other choices. But here is the Lord calling us to surrender to him, not just once, but every day, to look to him and ask the Lord, Lord, what do you want from me today? What do you want out of my life today? I'm ready to give myself to you today. I don't want to live a life that is redundant. I don't want to live a life that's mediocre. And the only way I know how to live a life that doesn't fall into that of insignificance is to get up and maybe look in the mirror and say, this is the day the Lord has made. Or men, as we're looking at our Better Men study, what did we say? Good morning, God. Good morning, God. This is the day you've made. I want to rejoice and be glad in it. And by your name and in the power of your Son and in the presence of your Spirit, I want to live my life for you today. Lord, I'm surrendering my life to you. What do you want me to do? What charge do you have for me? Not just once, but daily. But here's the other thing. It can't just be once, not once, but daily. It also must be completely. We must give our lives to the Lord completely. On my phone, I don't know if you're like this, but I have folders on my phone. And they're titled, and I put different apps and different